At the age of 8, Darrell Fusaro overheard the details of his grandfather's murder while hiding in his family's basement. Can you imagine?
Never solved. There's a lot of blood. Back then, they didn't really solve a lot of homicides, it doesn't look like.
Because I kept thinking, this can't be his story. I didn't know this is about him.
Yeah, well, we never talk about it because it wasn't a very pleasant thing to talk about. Yeah, that was too bad, yeah. He was such a nice man. They never solved the mystery either. Other than that, what's new?
Well, years later, this writer and performer has captured his Italian-American family's tragedy on stage in the autobiographical drama, The Basement.
Darrell Fusaro has written a one-man show that doesn't suck. If you let me, that's what you should do. You know how they put, like on movie posters, they put quotes from people?
Right.
Let me put one on there. This one-man show doesn't, finally a one-man show that doesn't suck.
I think it's brave. He was so honest that he revealed so much.
Why? What could he have done to get somebody that upset? What was he doing? Something is definitely missing because why?
What you are about to see is a man's portrayal of his own life. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you into The Basement.
I'm a lucky guy. I grew up in New Jersey, and we'd always get together at my grandparents' house. Well, we didn't just get together in their house, we got together in their basement. You gotta understand, at my grandparents' house, the basement was where you lived. The rest of the house was just something that came along with the basement.
Yeah, I'm trying to, there's an open case from that. I'm just trying to talk with somebody who might have.
What's the case you're talking about?
It happened in 1970.
What's the name, son?
James Fusaro.
Fusaro.
Happened in Passaic.
Whereabouts?
Union office on Main Street.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. New Year's Day.
Right.
Yeah, I remember the case.
So you were around at that time?
Yeah.
Well, what was the story with that?
Never put it together. It's an unsolved case.
Darrell was good enough and kind enough to call the summer and to find out he was willing to give us a gift of his talent and present this play and give the proceeds to the kids was fantastic because it was unsolicited. That's what made it wonderful.
Darrell James Fusaro, president, Clifton High School, class of 1980. Why have you come back to Clifton High School, Darrell?
Well,
all these years later.
Well, I came back to perform a production I do in Los Angeles. It turns out to be a very positive, even though it starts off with this shocking event and goes through all these things that happen, the whole point of the story is, you know, it was the worst of times, but it was the best of times that all of our lives, everyone has crazy stuff. Maybe not as dramatic as that, hopefully, but if they do, they can relate to it. But the whole point is, in spite of it all, in the end, it was all good. It was all good. Pop-Pop, that's what I called my grandfather. He was a big man. Well, yeah, he was big to me. I was only a kid. And he always wore a shirt and tie. He was like one of those guys in those old movies. You know, he always had on a shirt and tie. He'd be Working in the yard, shirt and tie. Painting the eaves, shirt and tie. Tinkering on the car, shirt and tie. And he never got dirty, ever. And my mommy would dress me up in my own little shirt and tie and take me downtown to visit Pop-Pop at work. He'd take us out to lunch, and then Mommy would let me spend the rest of the day working with Pop-Pop. He was a union official, so I used to get to go on all his important meetings and appointments with him. And all day long I remember meeting big, important people and putting my tiny little hand in their great big hands and holding on as tight as I could, because Pop-Pop taught me the importance of a firm handshake. Actually, I got to tell you a little story. When I was in high school here, I was a senior, and I was class president. Well, it's a popularity.
I'm glad you went back there, because I was going to ask you anyway.
I was class president that year. And
I had pictures.
And some people, some kids loved me, some kids didn't. But anyway, the whole point of what I'm trying to say is I worked very hard to make myself appear like I had a happy, like I was a spoiled kid, I didn't want anyone to know, because my mom split right after my grandfather was murdered, and I was raised by my dad, and he was dying of cancer when I was a senior, and he was young. He was only my age, which I am now 40, and I thought he was old at the time, but now I know he wasn't.
No, I don't dare say that around me.
But there was one time I remember towards the end of the year, you said to me, we were in the hallway, I'll never forget it. I hope I don't cry. But anyway, I was walking towards your door, and you said, just remember this, it's funny. You said, wow, I just heard about your father. I had no idea. And you even said, geez, I thought you were just another one of these screwy, spoiled kids like the rest of them. I had no idea. And I remember saying, oh, it's okay. And when I left, part of me, because I was a kid, I thought, whew, good. Because if I fooled Miss Pizanka at the time, then that means everyone thought that.
But that wasn't really good.
No, it wasn't good.
No, it wasn't good.
It was that's me covering this up, and now I wish, that's why I think I get choked up, that I wish that I didn't do all that work to pretend that it was all okay, because I thought it was embarrassing. I didn't know what I thought. I felt embarrassed about my dad being sick. I felt embarrassed and humiliated about my mom, her antics, and so I just wanted to be like everybody else. This is the house we grew up in. We moved here when I was about 6 years old, just about a year before my grandfather was murdered. He actually found this house for us, and it was all white, and it had a different porch, and it didn't have the upstairs either. It was just a 2-bedroom house, and we moved here, I guess it was 1968. And before we did all this remodeling, this was the way we left it when me and my brother finally had to move out after my dad died. It hasn't really changed at all, except there was a huge tree here. But while we were living here, right after my grandfather died, this is the house where me, my mother, father, and little brother lived. When my mother would get drunk on occasion, she'd go flying out the back door because the kitchen's in the back, and then she'd go running around that way, and then these are the hedges right here. Yeah, this is the cook's house. So these were the hedges she'd leap over like a wild gazelle, and then we'd have to chase her down through here, and she'd come back up. And so these are the hedges that I actually mentioned in the play. Now, I don't know if they were this tall, because this would have been some jump. But she did it, so maybe they were.
Darrell, Eric, get out here!
Your mother just ran out of the house again, naked. Great. So there we were, me and my little brother Eric, chasing my mother through the neighborhood. And it wasn't easy keeping up with her. I mean, she's jumping hedges like a wild gazelle. So there we were, like Haas and Little Joe, trying to get the wild mare back to the Ponderosa. And my dad standing on the front yard like Ben Cartwright, holding the terry cloth robe like a saddle, just waiting for the right moment. Okay, guys, hold her tight. You got her? You got her? Whoa! Woo! She's a tough one, isn't she? Okay, guys. Guys, I got her. Get inside. Come on, Billy. What the hell are you drinking so much for, huh? Billy! The boys love you, Billy. I love you, Billy. I'll always love you. The whole thing was so insane, you know, that I probably overlooked her getting scratched up because I was more concerned of the embarrassment factor, you know, being humiliated if everyone saw us. So, and then like when we got her inside, my dad would just take over, so. But it was pretty humiliating. Yep. Actually, if you see that bend in the road down there, when we used to walk home from school, me and my little brother, we couldn't see our house until we got to that bend. But as soon as we got to that bend, we could see if my father's car was in the driveway, and if it wasn't if it was not in the driveway, we would run all the way home because we knew we had some reprieve time to ourselves, and then we'd play records really loud. But if we saw his car was in the driveway, we would just kind of mope home because we knew we were probably going to get it for something. Actually, the guy in 84 Sussex Road, which is this house in the cul-de-sac there, it's a yellow one all the way in the corner. He was the guy who taught me how to ride my bike. So my dad was too busy and he had to go to work all the time, and you know, he was a little gruff and he really didn't have the patience for it anyway. But Mr. Pelkowski, in this little circle here, we'd go back and forth, and one day he wasn't holding on and I was riding my bike. It was amazing. It's just a shame that my dad couldn't be, you know, that he really didn't get to experience that with me, you know? They called my dad Fuzz. It was short for Fusaro. He liked to bust our chops. He was a New Jersey New Ager. Jesus Christ. Think positive, you miserable fuck. Hold on. Darrell, Eric, come back in here. Come here. Look. It's just like the book. I'm okay, you're okay. Now hit the road.
He used to go after you. He was screaming and yelling at you and calling. I took a picture of you on your bicycle because you had fallen off. You fell off, so who doesn't? So he outside, where everyone in the neighborhood could hear, called you a stupid little girl, and you were going to be dressed in your mother's clothes, and it was doing a job on you, and I couldn't take it. And that's why I took a picture of you riding the bicycle. You see that one picture? It was in the album. Because I said, wow, Darrell, I said, you only fell once or twice. That's great. Because, you know, he was just getting, like you were just going to withdraw in a shell.
This whole section of Clifton, New Jersey was called Allwood section because it was all woods. And now it's thinning out a little, like my head. So I guess everything changes.
Hi, I'm Lenny Bart. I'm the artistic director of 12 Miles West Theater Company. We're a small professional theater in the heart of beautiful downtown suburban Montclair, New Jersey. And we've been expanding our programming, and tonight is a perfect example of one of those things as part of our Oops Festival. Our original one-person show, we have Darrell Fusaro coming in with the basement. As you saw, I wear a lot of hats outside of just running the place, and so it's hard to read everything as it comes through. But Darrell put together a very clean and nice press packet, and I was impressed. I liked it. I looked through all the material. It looked good. So that was actually one of the times when I took the script and read the script, because a lot of times I pass it on to a minion, just out of time's sake. It was a nice script. We had a really nice conversation, and surreptitiously he had just booked his presentation over at Clifton High, his old alma mater, and I thought this was perfect. It was right in the exact same time when we were doing something, and it just worked out perfectly for both of us, I think.
The first 8 times I did the show, there was no script. It was all here. And the only time I did the script was because to be invited to perform it at a theater, I had to have it on script. So I had a videotape and had a student listen to the video and just type it, and that's my script. So I never really thought I was a writer and then actor or actor. It was kind of evolved. It was just like, well, who else is going to do it? And the director said, come on, you can do it, so let's just do it. So it's just out of necessity. I kind of did each thing. But this is my best acting work only because I know it. I can live it, I can feel it. You know, because some people afterwards go, oh my God, you're a great actor, but I don't know if I'd be so great if I was reading someone else's script. It's because I can see it, I can feel it. You know what I mean? Because I was there, so I can really feel it.
It's a fine line, you know, of an actor trying to hit that emotional truth. But when it's your life, I think there's the potential to either wallow in it or, you know, to hold it at bay. And he seems to have found the right balance, and it's good, and so I think he allows us to go to that place as well.
I'm excited. I'm excited and very frightened because of my family. Because, you know, I had to use some dramatic license to make it work. Like I had to take this and move it here, and these two people didn't know these two people, but I put them in the same room because otherwise it doesn't work. So I'm afraid some people go, he never stayed there. But everything's pretty factual. I'm worried about my mother. She never saw it, and she's very unpredictable. If she has too much to drink, and she comes to the show, and she sees something, she'll make a scene.
Darrell, come and dance with your mommy. Oh my God, I can't believe you watch this garbage. It's so uneducational. Woo, did I make that? Come on, Darrell, get up and dance with mommy. Come on. Come on, Darrell, don't be such a party pooper. Maybe if you got up once in a while and moved your ass, we wouldn't have to shop in the Husky department. Aw, what's the matter, Darrell? You still upset? Don't tell me you're upset because I left you in the car for a few minutes while I was in the bar for a couple hours. Jesus Christ, Darrell, you had your little brother to play with. Just next time, roll down the windows. It was hot as hell in there.
Oh my God, I'm exhausted.
I'm excited. Honey, honey.
Well, the good sign is I'm exhausted as I was yesterday.
Well, that's good. Honey, once the audience starts going in, you're gonna be on fire.
Once the audience goes in, I'm gonna run and hide.
Aren't you excited? I can't believe how fast this came. It seems
I was more excited this morning for some reason. Why do you think that is?
because I was asleep and you were yelling at me to wake up.
No, I think because it was closer to the last show.
Well, what does that mean? Now it's closer to the new show. Are you scared?
Do we need to rehearse it?
No.
Do we need to do a run through?
No.
Am I gonna remember everything?
Of course you are. Are you nervous?
Yeah, I'm wondering if I'm gonna remember it.
Oh my God, how can you are totally, honey, all you have to do is remember it, see it. It's your story, so if you do different words, that's all right. You're gonna remember it.
Don't fool yourself, girl. It's winking at you.
I'm hoping that it's completely sold out, which is nice, as it should be for a one evening only engagement. And I think everyone, whether they are part of the family, know anything in the history, or whether they're someone just cold off the street, I think they're in store for a really nice piece of theater.
Leonard?
Oh,
I'm sorry. It's okay.
That's okay.
Look,
take them. Take them,
I
absolutely.
need a list. That's okay.
Minions of running stuff. Let's see, going back to the question, which was...
I thought I was going to be able to get everyone to go to the performance at the high school, but they all, I guess, were so enthusiastic that they all wanted to come to the very first show, which is tonight. And I'm a little anxious.
I think that the end scene between us is going to be more emotional because whenever I see him talk about the murder and when he says, what a waste, and he gets all emotional, as soon as we look at each other in that moment, he's crying a little bit, and that always makes me cry. And then me crying makes him cry more. So tonight, that's just going to be tenfold.
I'm a little nervous, but not too much. And if I just focus on my brother, hopefully he'll show up. And Uncle Al, my dad's best friend, who I mentioned in the play a couple times, I think it'll be great.
I think this is going to be his most intense performance ever. I think just knowing that they're out there, and I mean, this is for his family, basically. I mean, that's how it started out, I think, just as to get it out of his system and to get it in, just like cathartic, kind of. And when he first started working on it, it kind of it wasn't with them in mind to do the show for them, but because they were so important in his life, kind of like a tribute to them, I think. Which is really cool, because I don't know if Uncle Al knows what an effect he had on Darrell as a young boy.
All right, come in there, Darrell, and I'll smack you silly.
Come here, we need you in the light.
Oh, where's my, he's over here. He's getting interviewed. You guys are far
In here?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't want to bother.
Well, we need you backstage.
Oh, how you doing? I'm Uncle Al.
I met you at Eric's last time.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah, I
So what's
remember
going
that.
on? Who's here?
Parking in this town is the pits.
Well, I heard Charlie's here.
Yeah, he's upstairs, and I brought Big Ern with me. Jody couldn't make it because one of our kids were...
Well, what
feeling-
about Eric?
I had no... He's your brother. I picked up Ernie by your brother's house.
Is
and-
Ernie going to be worried about his mom the whole show?
Who?
Ernie.
I got him under control. Let me handle it. You just relax, put on a good show.
So you excited?
Of course I'm excited. Come on.
What about Charlie?
He's upstairs with his
Did you
wife.
bring tissues?
You know, of the old school, like this.
Oh, okay.
You know how it goes. That's what we used to do in your cell. I used to ask your mom and dad for tissues. You know, use the sleeve.
Yeah, there you go. Good. That's what I use in the
Give me
show.
one of those, yeah.
Oh, yeah, here.
I finished your interview, and
so we'll see.
you save me any seats up there?
You got to run for cover. There's no bad seats. You saw it. Did they show
I saw
you?
nothing.
Oh, well, you will.
Oh, all right.
Here, give me a hug.
Lots of luck, kid. Lots of luck. Plus, I'm going to go to the one at the. Aunt Margie wants to come up and see that one at the high school.
Oh, good.
And then Jody wants to go to that one. There'll be quite a few going.
Well, that's good because it goes to the kids.
Yeah.
That's
all right.
only
That's
$5.
Why did you pay for this one? Why did I? You said it was free for your Uncle Al. The lady said, "Who?"
Jeez, I told them. They must have screwed. You know how to get out of here? Yeah, we can't have everyone back here, especially if some people have been drinking. That would totally screw my head up.
10-minute hold.
Oh, I thought you were going to say my mother's here.
Oh.
She would talk to you about having
Did you
tea
invite
with No.
Oh.
She has one glass eye from
She's
a bar
psychic,
brawl.
so she might know about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that with the alcohol, she may speak French to you, bad French, or bad German, or she could possibly be the Queen of England.
Well, I'm hoping she comes because I want to book her for another one-person show.
This is going to be difficult.
Why?
Because at the rehearsal yesterday, my leg was sweating
Honey,
profusely
if it moves,
and slipping.
So you move it back, just like a real model. It slipped off, okay? You just
No,
gain
I
your...
know, but I prefer not to move.
Honey, but if it does, you're...
Honey, I'm a realist, okay?
I'm a realist. You told me to put chapstick on.
People can hear you. No,
I'm drinking water.
Listen, it's just uncomfortable because I have to use my muscle to keep it there. And it hurts.
Honey, 15 minutes. That's all you gotta hold it for.
That's what I kept telling myself yesterday. I was like, okay, I get to move when he talks about Leavenworth because that's when I go like that, and then I could conceivably hike
And then
it
you got
up.
like another 7 minutes
Yes,
after
I know.
that.
Honey, you try sitting like this, holding all your weight up with just your muscle.
That's why I didn't audition for the model part in this show.
Have a cell phone or any electronic device outside of an ankle bracelet, please turn it off right now. That way we won't have any disturbance in the middle of the show. And just so you know, there is no flash photography in the middle of tonight's performance. It's potentially dangerous with the raised stage here. So please, no pictures, no recording devices, and no flash photography. We're going to run at 90 minutes without an intermission, so please, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, except for this gentleman right here, and have a great time tonight.
But Pop-Up didn't move me. Pop-Up didn't move me. Every other time I fell asleep at my grandparents', I'd go to sleep in their bed, and when Pop-Up came home, late from work, he'd pick me up, and careful not to wake me, bring me to my dad's old bedroom, and tuck me in. And when I woke up, I knew he was home, but I woke up all alone in my grandparents' bed. So I ran through the Fusaro Museum and knickknacks, and into the basement. And all the ants were there. There was no food. Grandma wasn't talking, and Aunt Fran didn't notice me. And just then I started hearing that sucking sound from that screen door. That and down the stairs came Uncle Johnny, and he was followed by Uncle Joe. And my dad, what's he doing here? He's supposed to be in Vermont. And Uncle Chet and Uncle Terry. And as Uncle Johnny got to the bottom of the stairs, all the ants started to crowd around. And Daddy and Uncle Joe stood on his right, and Uncle Chet and Uncle Terry filed in on his left. And then Uncle Johnny just focused in on my grandmother. Jimmy's not coming home. They slit his throat. That sound of all the ants just sucked the life out of the basement. What am I supposed to do now? I'm only 8 years old. I'm not supposed to hear this. I'm not supposed to understand what they're talking about, but I do. And if they know I'm here, I'm gonna get in a lot of trouble. So I hid underneath the kitchen table, and I just watched them all cry. And nobody ever knew I was there.
You never fucking told him.
Did you know my grandfather was murdered?
Yeah.
You knew about that?
Yeah, I found the file.
Well, what happened?
No, there was no arrest in that case. It was found upstairs on the second floor of an office building down here in Passaic. That's what I can recall.
Did they have any idea why?
Didn't, I didn't really read it that thoroughly. I found the pictures because we were moving the homicide files, and then I found the one that you were talking about. I think we talked about it once before.
What did they do, just stab him?
I think it was a stabbing, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. There was a lot of blood.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, growing up, we had to live, we were accused of being in the mafia after that.
Yeah, well, that's what it seemed like. That's what the report kind of seemed like, you don't know what kind of a hit it was. It could have been, like, from that or something. That was just... That's how they thought back then,
Right. And he happened to be a union official.
That's right. And he was in the union office, I think.
Yeah.
That's where it happened, in the union office.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now more details. I'm remembering more details.
Well, what do you think he possibly did for that to happen to him? Does anyone know?
I know he was very, very honest. And I have a feeling that somebody he did a lot of the bookwork.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that he just he wasn't the one to make up, maybe, somebody else to make up the third and fourth or second set of books. And my feeling is that something like that happened. And I think very possibly I don't know what happened. I think he was set up somehow. I don't know. I mean, he never seemed weird in any way to me. He was very nice.
Right.
I don't know. You never know, but I don't think so. But I'm sure that he was killed through the mob. I'm sure, especially the way he was killed. That is very much the mob.
Hey. He did a number on you.
Were you crying?
Yeah, everybody. Whoa.
You could not.
We had a lot of people in tears, you guys. A lot of people.
Did I?
Yeah, you caught us by surprise. We didn't expect that.
What were you expecting? Me to dance around in a leotard?
That's why, after a while, I have to chase him out. He just hits my buttons.
Wait, what about when we used to do the shows? We used to make you come upstairs and me and my brother used to sing to the record so you guys would be like, hey, Susan, okay, is that it now? Great, let's go back downstairs.
That house was so bad, so bad. At a young age, they were running around reading Playboys. His brother was showing X-rated movies on the house next door. Nobody ever mentioned that part, did they?
He shot the projector out my bedroom window onto the house across the street.
Onto the house itself.
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
They're driving up.
On the house next door, the white side.
Yeah, it had a white aluminum siding, so the movie showed up perfect.
Yeah. Eric had his weird part for a long while. So did he. I have to show you a painting I got from him when he was regressing into his childhood toys. One I can't find is the Weebles, and this one is a little. I have to show you this picture.
You still have it?
Yeah. Yes. And I said, my wife, what's going on with him? They do this in kindergarten. What do you want? $75 for this? So that's the picture. I put it in the kids' room. Yeah, I'm saying, geez, what kind of beast? He's a painter? Right, so the other one's a little Weeple. I recognized them right away. I said, these are the ones that Fisher Price, they put in that van.
Right.
Yeah, he was going back. There it is. I still don't know what it is, but someday I'll figure it out.
When did you have that show in New York, there in the gallery where I came to see
I
your pictures?
saw
What
that-
year was that, Darrell?
That was 96.
Was it that long ago?
1996.
1996. So, and I want to, if I haven't already, thanked you 100 times for doing that, inviting me there. I love looking at the
that
pictures.
was great.
The subject of your, what is your medium? Was it oil or acrylic? What was it?
At
What
that
was the
time,
medium?
it was
Yeah.
pastel.
Pastel, and you used a little kind of a person, which we
Those
call
little people.
the little people or the wee people.
Right.
But looking at the pictures, I knew where they were.
Right.
I knew they were in Clifton. I knew they were on the school bus going to Clifton High
Right.
School. I knew they were standing on a corner, and it was all about Clifton. So basically, it looks like everything that you do rotates and comes back home
Right.
to Clifton. And then
You know what? I think, because I'm learning now, I read some stories about people that have had something like a mother or something murdered or something crazy that happens when they're young. And I think everyone's got this need to come back home. Not home necessarily to come back to everything's going to be like it was, but that feeling of that safe feeling. And those paintings were what started the play The Basement. Because when I started doing those paintings, because for many years my grandfather's murder was kind of like put away even in my mind. You know, I was busy at life.
you compartmentalized it. You
Yeah.
shoved it, you closed the drawer.
Closed it. And it was never talked about in our family. And I started doing those paintings and I started remembering. And that's when I started making phone calls. And I called the police department and stuff. I found the old microfiche.
In Clifton, yes.
Because when I was doing those paintings, I started thinking, I go, did this really happen? Was
Yes.
my grandfather's murder really in the newspaper? I was getting all this vague like dreams and stuff and remembering things.
Right.
And sure enough, I went to the Clifton library, found all the microfiche. It was in the paper. Then I started calling the people that were in the paper.
So that's how the idea for The Basement
It
came
started.
through, with
It
your
was-
research, but your art first.
Right.
It's all centered around your art, and then
Right.
it moves into a different art form called a play.
Right,
And then the advanced form of the writing, which is the performing.
right,
And that's why Darrell James Fusaro has come back to Clifton High School.
yeah.
You get empty pasta. How's this look? Good, huh?
Looks good for me. I'll eat it.
Gloria, I did this for you, hon. I didn't do it for him. I did this for you.
What did Joe Fazio think?
Excellent. Great. The reviews from just your friends in there, it was excellent. See, she loves you.
I do.
Now, get moving, kid. Make us proud.
Can you believe she loves me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt in my mind. Even when your dad died, and I was one of the pallbearers, and I was actually swearing at him. I remember word for word, I said, "You son of a bitch, why'd you have to die on us?" That was a tragedy for everybody. Because his father had a knack of keeping everybody together, whether it be our card games, and everybody went over to the hangout. It was
He was a young man, your father.
He was.
My age.
God almighty.
Yeah, good man.
He was my age.
Yeah, so he died at 41.
41.
Like you
He
said,
just
41.
turned 41.
Yeah, we all remember. We all remember.
Darrell, then come out here. I want to talk to you. Here. Take a look at those. Jesus Christ, Darrell, they're x-rays. Hold them up to the light. You see those spots? They're not supposed to be there. I got cancer. That's it. Party's over.
Jimmy died 1981, your father, and we had done the funeral luncheon at the Palms. That was so sad.
I know.
Then a year later, Grandma was gone.
I know.
So we had a lot of disruption in our lives along the way with Uncle Jim, with your grandfather, right?
I know. God, that was the most weirdest thing that ever happened to
I don't
me.
know how Grandma lived through all that.
Did Johnny get diabetes after that?
Yeah, I think that was the shock when he found Uncle Jim.
So he found his brother. God, Jesus.
You know what I've been thinking about a lot lately? What was the thing with putting a kitchen in the basement?
Because the Italians always did that. That's an Italian thing. Because the Italians used to have coal bins in the basement, too. You know, used to make their wine, stick that in the basement. Italians are all about food.
It's because remember, the kitchen upstairs was never used.
No. Just once in a while she'd cook something up there if it was like something extra she had to do.
What was the thinking, though?
Because there was more room in the basement, and the Italians like to make these big family things.
There's more room in the basement, you're right.
Yeah, and they could have nice big dinners and, you know, make their tomato sauce.
Because that's a lot of work
because in those days, all the kitchens were small. They didn't make big kitchens.
No, I know.
You know, it's not like today. You had a little itsy-bitsy kitchen, usually. And the Italians were the ones that came to this country and really were cooks.
Right. So, did he build all that? Pop?
Yeah.
This is actually my grandparents' house. This is the house that the story of the basement's based on. And if we back up, here, I'll show you. Over here, if we back up, those little windows down at the bottom there, that's the basement windows. I mean, that's one of them. And that's the side door that leads straight to the basement. And the house has been totally transformed. Yeah, it was a big surprise to pull up and see that the house is for sale. I called up, and the price on it they're asking is $349,000. So it's a little too much for me. But because when I was calling, I was secretly hoping it would be cheap enough for me to buy. What are you doing selling the place?
Well, I've got a place being built on the shore.
Do you remember me?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, we were just doing a tape.
Oh, you are? Huh?
Yeah.
I read it in the papers.
Oh, so you read it? Because I was going to invite you. I wrote it after I was here.
Oh, okay.
That was 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Time flies.
Yeah.
I
saw this
started.
because me and my wife have been back and we got all excited about possibly moving back. So when I pulled up and I saw the sign, I called up. I was on the phone. I was talking to the realtor because I didn't know you were home.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I asked about the price, and I said, well, that's a little too much for me, but it's good to know.
You want to come in a second?
Yeah. Oh, no, I got two of my friends with me, though. Can they come? Come on in. You don't mind if he tapes, I can show him the basement. So, then I wrote this play, and I did it in Los Angeles, and it went over very well. And then I got invited to do it at a theater back here. But in the meantime, I called Clifton High because I wanted to do a thing where I could do a benefit so some of the money can go to the school. So we put them both together, and now next week I'll be doing the Clifton High School one. Yeah, I gave your husband
nice.
Here, and you can let your daughter know.
Thank you. Yes, I'll tell her.
The Clifton High School one, all the money, I'm not getting any money. It's all going to the kids. So it's inexpensive. It's only $5. So if they want to go, it'd be great. And we talk about the basement.
Yeah.
It's not the basement.
The basement.
You ready for the basement? Okay, this is a big, exciting moment. They've only heard about it.
Nothing like it would.
No, there's a lot of changes, but you'll get an idea of the layout's the same. So that you'll see. Oh, this is the kitchen. This is exactly where it was. Refrigerator in the same spot, stove in the corner. I mean, it's been changed, but it's the same.
Should have put all those lights on.
And oh look, see, you got the postcard. There was a kitchen table, and underneath there was a little door, and I used to hide inside actually underneath these stairs.
Like it went on the other side.
Yeah, you put it on the other side. Yeah, that was the little hangout. So this was the kitchen table, and this is where Uncle Johnny and all the guys came down, and it was right here, and everyone crowded around, right in this spot. Pretty amazing, huh? That we're here. People would walk up the front walk, so we wouldn't see ankles there. You'd only see ankles here and here. And then you could tell who they were by their ankles. They go foomp, and then you get another double take there, and then we knew who was coming down next. What do you think? Now you get to see the real thing. And then here's the, back to the dining room, living room. Yep.
Back to memories, huh?
Yeah. My grandma could cook. I mean, she'd have tomato sauce simmering on the stove all day long. And she'd roll out dough for homemade raviolis. My grandma was a grandma. I mean, she had those arms, and she had beautiful olive skin and black hair and big brown eyes. And she'd give me these hugs. They were the kind of hugs that would last all week. I love you, Grandma. I miss you, Grandma.
The high school is 345,000 square feet. It is composed of a population of 3,261 students as of today. Has a faculty of 270. Second largest high school in the state. Very, very diverse population. We have kids coming all the time from around the world, which I think makes us the fabric of our culture stronger. I myself am only the second generation in this country, and we want to encourage achievement above anything else, and pursue your dreams.
We have a TV studio here, and the director and the kids made videotapes. They've been playing on the morning news because we have televisions in all our classrooms, and the kids rallied to ask questions. Can I see this show? Where is it? What's it about? And their teachers were all informed. The faculty was talked to, and they're all very enthusiastic, and they're using it as a learning tool, which I find great because this is a school. This is a place of education, and they're using this, a lot of the teachers, as a learning tool for their students, and also some of them will come and have a theater experience for the first time in their lives at a very reasonable price.
That looks good. That thing looks good.
Oh, that
smell. This is not good. We can't use this. Is it supposed to smell like gas? This is latex, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't do those.
It smells so bad.
The key is you don't want it perfect. And you don't want it all the way out here because then it looks silly. So just pretend you're doing a painting and you're going over, okay?
This is a great show.
I don't need to do a show.
No, I know. This is great.
My name is Jessica Carlin, and I'm running the light board for the basement. When he first told us that he was coming here, we knew that we'd have to get everything ready and together, so we had to set up the lights, hang them, focus them, gel them, so that you could see him on stage. And then we had to put together lights to cues and stuff like that, and it's been kind of difficult to try and get everybody happy about what they want and how they want things to look, but I think it's going pretty good.
My name is Kimberly Sokolic, and I'm the stage manager for helping Darrell out in the basement. What I do is make sure that everyone knows their positions and what their jobs are, And during the performance, I call the cues, exactly the timing for the lights and for the curtain and for the projector in the movie and everything like that, and make sure everything backstage is going okay and smoothly. Oh, I think it's a great experience. It definitely made me see more what professional or more professional productions are like. It's a little nerve-wracking, but it's okay so far.
Well, I'm glad I saw it 2 times, because the first time I had to go through a lot of emotional gut-wrenching, which I did, because Darrell and I have some similarities in our backgrounds, which to me have drawn us to each other over the years.
My name is Cheryl Carlin. I'm the projection person. I saw it up in 12 Miles West in Montclair. I was crying, actually. It was really good. I was like, a lot of the parts were funny and I was laughing, and then when his grandfather died, I was crying, and it's very emotional, but it's like he worked on it really hard, and it's sort of weird, like, you know, it's his life, so I was a little amazed. When people ask me how to explain what it's about, I really can't, because it's like watching someone's life on stage, and it's very emotional because I know a lot of people that have gone through tough things, but Darrell has gone through a lot of tough stuff, but he's dealt with it, and this is him now, and he's good.
I loved it, you know, it was really, it kept you on the edge of your seat, you know, the whole time, and just wondering, you know, what actually happened back in the 70s or whenever it was. And at the end, you kind of got a good impression, you know. So I really liked it, you know. It's a great show, and if they don't like it, they don't know what they're missing, you know. They didn't know. They don't know anything if they don't like it.
Critics are calling it a compelling evening in theater, enhanced by a natural storyteller. And that storyteller joins us now. Darrell, he is here to talk about his play, The Basement. Welcome, Darrell.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. We were talking just briefly earlier. I'm intrigued. Now, of course, we told everyone this is a play about your grandfather's murder.
That's correct.
This has really been very much a play about family then, I would imagine, as well as about the murder and what it does to your family. How was your family's reaction to the play?
You know, they were afraid about mafia implications.
I went back to his old union office 3 years ago. This was before this piece came about.
Where he got killed.
Where he was killed. And, you know, it's a building, still exists in New Jersey, and I must have passed by it about billions of times while growing up there, but it was so repressed, I forgot about it. I visited. Downstairs is all finished. The owners finally agree to let me go upstairs.
Yeah, to look around.
To look around. I go upstairs, and it's untouched.
You okay?
Yeah.
There we go. This is the room.
Yeah. And then there was the other.
Yeah. This is the other office.
Yeah.
This is where his grandfather's office. This is it, right? This is where they kicked it in.
Oh, is that what they did?
They kicked that door in. He was in this room, right?
Are you serious?
They left him in there. They left him in this room. They sure are.
1950s. I mean, the bump, ceiling height, and the blind.
Yeah. I mean, it has a
And then the boss, I guess when the union moved up, the boss just decided to throw all dead inventory and just use this as dead storage space.
Right.
Oh yeah, there's nothing here. There's
still.
Well, this was the main office. This was where the secretaries were.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
So he had this is where he had, yeah.
Do you remember any of this place? Remember?
This place has been butchered by storage.
Yeah, yeah, the
Moving
ceiling
stuff
tiles
around.
coming
You know,
down.
and every time they do a roof repair or something, nobody cares about this, so they just kind of go through the roof here.
But this was broken
Yeah, that was broken day one, that door.
when they came in. So he had his door locked, obviously.
Nobody knows.
No one knows.
Nobody knows what happened. Yeah.
He was supposed to be in New York City for a meeting. It was weird.
And they didn't find him. It was a long weekend, right? They didn't find him.
Yeah, well, they found New Year's Day. My Uncle Johnny found him. His brother came here. And then they found his car on 39th Street in New York City, like months later. Then like 6 months after that, they found his wallet and his car keys in a subway.
That's even weird of all places.
Yeah. And the way he was, I don't know. I mean, who knows? Some police say they think it's the mafia. Other police think he just picked somebody up. Other police just think, someone followed him here.
No idea.
Yeah. And my buddy from Records, he says, yeah, they didn't solve too many homicides back then because they didn't have a lot of the technology.
Yeah.
Well. Oh, I'm glad I came up. I can't believe that there's still blood on the walls, man. It was weird. How did it make you feel? I couldn't really feel much of anything, because it's overwhelming. He's showing me around, he's there, you're there, and I'm like trying to remember.
I got choked up when I saw that blood on the wall.
Yeah, it is overwhelming, I mean, the blood is still there, That they never rented it ever again. It has not changed at all. All they've done is throw boxes in for parts and stuff. They never rented it. It's never been cleaned up. Yeah.
Well, what did they do?
Oh, yeah. You don't want to know.
Did they do
They cut his throat and they cut his thing off.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. In other words, like he had blabbed on somebody, and he didn't. It's just the opposite. He never got into anybody. He never talked about anybody.
Because I remember that rumor when I was little.
Yeah.
I think,
People shouldn't have been saying anything in front of you anyway.
no, but it was like later on, like when I was 14.
Oh, yeah.
Someone's grandmother said that. I didn't hear her say it, but I kind of, you know how the information gets
I
in.
know, and it usually it changes every time somebody repeats something, too.
And then my mother thinks that they cut off his penis and put it in his mouth.
I'm trying to think. I know they had redressed him.
Yeah.
They killed him because I know his throat was cut. You're ringing a bell somewhere deep in my head, but I'm not sure.
Because I remember hearing that rumor when I was like 14.
I know that Joe and my father found him,
Right.
but they redressed him and sat him at his desk. And then the pictures were all over the place. So, you don't know if they planted stuff or not.
Yeah.
But again, why?
Yeah.
Why? What could he have done to get somebody that upset? What was he doing?
That's the thing. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it just, you know, something is definitely missing because why?
Well, as far as the people of Clifton, I mean, this represents a piece of history of Clifton. That wasn't such a happy time, but what they're looking at is the resolution, reconciliation, and redemption of this horrible thing that happened to this family. And I also believe the kids will certainly appreciate and have some of their own deep buried feelings drawn out and go, gosh, I can get through this. Look what this guy did.
It's a huge deal. I think the school is reacting really well. The kids are really excited, especially the fact that it took place in Clifton, and they're going to know a lot of the spots. And it's just a lot of kids are buying tickets, so hopefully it's going to be a good show.
I can't stress enough how wonderful it is that he came back home to do this. I think it's great because I love Clifton. I love this town, and that's why I'm still here, and that's why my children are going through the system. So I just think it's wonderful. You know, I have a love for this town, and I think what he's doing is fabulous.
So is there a lot of adults coming?
Yeah, adults. A few senior citizens, mostly adults.
Oh, good.
I only had 1 or 2 students because they're selling them in the building.
Oh, that's good.
You want to go see a play? The basement on
They just
Saturday?
asked me that question. I got the check in my hand. I got $1 in my pocket. I'm really not doing good.
Well, find $4 more and you can come.
I would love to go, but I got.
Well, I just think the message that is being taught with this is just amazing, and it's something that you can tell kids, but to show them is quite different.
You want to buy a ticket? See the basement?
Huh?
The play in the basement.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really good.
Are you sure it is?
Yeah.
You wanna buy? You wanna buy a ticket? I can't.
Support your own
I'll be here. I'll be in northern New York.
Oh.
A lot of kids are buying tickets to come, and a lot of kids are getting involved.
Come on, only $3. Hey, stop. Just listen to what I gotta say. Just listen to $3. $3.
I think the people are excited.
Please, $5. Just $5. Support the school. Support your school. You work here and you can't even. Thanks a lot.
This is kind of the heart. This is where it all happened.
Trace dollars. I don't know how to say that.
Come on. Get back here.
He says he doesn't speak English.
Oh, he's lying.
Well, I think it started up like most things slowly. Then people saw the article in the Star Ledger this past weekend. People are seeing the broadside such as this, whereby it's all professionally done. And I think they have a curiosity about it, and the artist who is of our community wants to share, and I think that's why they want to come. They want to see what it's all about.
Come on, Monaco. How you doing?
Cancel the practice.
Only $5.
I can't make it.
Cancel the practice.
Don't you not think? Oh.
Yeah, but.
All right.
Oh, we really?
That's good.
All right.
Oh, look at that.
That was the truth.
That whole $5 is coming right to us.
All right.
It's a good way to spend it.
We could just have tip for the 10.
All right.
Okay. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
All right. See you later. Thank you.
We've asked you to say Clifton.
Right. Don't worry.
High
That's
school twice. OG magazine was delivered to her office. Every Italian-speaking person I could find in this building today. It's not ready.
Oh,
The
so
copy
they saw-
room ladies, the humanities
what
department
did they
chairs,
say?
so the Italian, in the mailboxes, the Italian
Oh,
ladies.
they didn't
were-
see it?
They were
they're
so
all
happy,
excited.
but they were all excited.
The two women that work in the copy room
Right.
are both Italian, so they're like all excited.
But they saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's the
I
best.
put it out. I
Yeah.
No, but I
made
mean,
it
what was
small.
their reaction?
Daryl. They
'Cause that's-
loved it. They
but-
loved it because they're
that's
all
their-
Italian.
No,
yeah.
because they could. That would
talk
get
it
them
up.
excited now.
And then
Because
talk it up
that's
and they go and they're
because that
friends.
paper is very reputable.
The Italian
So
women.
they know that if it's
Right.
in there, it's not just.
Right,
This
that's
is
right.
just a high school
Right.
bozo thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, I put it to the humanities department to share with his Italian teachers with the sharing with Italian students. Something to translate and read. That's all taken care of.
So they know how to read that?
I don't know.
Well, they're gonna figure it out.
They'll figure it out. Okay.
Basically.
Last item.
As long as
and
they
then
get the
you're free.
basics.
You're not going to believe what happened. I can't use the F word. Now I'm saying it. Oh, then they might get sued because someone's parents might say you're condoning this. And you know, I brought up the fact that when I was in high school, we went to see Sweeney Todd, you know, the demon barber of Fleet Street, where he's grinding up humans into freaking meat patties. And Angela Lansbury swearing like a sailor. The bottom line is they're freaked out, panicked. Can't use it. Hello? 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 I lost her. She said, well, tell him you can't do it then.
We're a school, and there is a deportment decorum that is expected of everyone in this school. And in advocating that, we had to make some changes in the script, or we asked Darrell to make some changes in the script.
And the bottom line is, the reason that I am very upset is only because I told Cassie Craig from the very beginning that those words, from your father's mouth, calling you those names, and yes, no, I did. I said, when his father calls him names, they're vulgar and they're important to the story. And then I said the other one that cannot be removed is when the military man says the same thing that his father said, because then it's very pertinent to the story, because then you see the connection and you see why that military man was so important in his life and how he equated it with his father and how that was, I mean, and I told her that.
Well, you know, I was thinking all along, okay, I can clean it up, except where it's really pertinent. And I thought, fine, you know, I'm doing it one shot, well, no harm, no foul. It's all cleaned up, 2 pertinent spots, and everyone loves the show, and you get a lot out of it, and it's done. But now they put, today's meeting screwed my head up with the additional guilt that they could be sued or whatever. But I think that's bullcrap. Can you really sue the school over a swear word?
There's really no other word that will convey the severity of his home life situation and the impact that a father calling his son the F word would make. I mean, look at what a ruckus it's causing. So can you imagine a 6, 7, 8, 9, 14-year-old his whole life being called that? That is the point. And that is why that word is important.
The message is that certain things are enough, but at certain times some things are inappropriate. Now, they're not inappropriate in his story, not at all. But because the target audience is kids, we had to make a few changes with some of the words in this script.
I don't think it's a problem at all. We hear it every single day in the hallways, more times than you can count.
He cursed a couple of times, not the whole show. The certain points that he did, it was a quote by people that he was playing as, and I think it really helped portray what he went through as a child. Like, this is the stuff that he heard when he was younger, so.
Get with the program.
It's a public school. That's the problem. If you did this in a private, non-Catholic school, you could pretty much do what you want.
I give you guys
Catholics will do anything.
I just went to Jersey City to pick up original artwork for the set because we can't hang up nudes that I've done while I was 18 years old as a student at college. So I gotta do, because God forbid someone sees the naked back of a pencil sketch of someone, so that's fine.
We here simply love art and all its diversity. Whether it's on the stage or in the hallway with the murals or a large sculpture or a small bitty piece. It's just wonderful.
I was excited, but I'm a little worried because Lori's upset.
The thing that is so twisted and bizarre to me is that before the first curse word is uttered, a penis has been chopped off and stuffed in a mouth. Implied incest has gone on. You know, talk of murder and blood everywhere and all of this kind of stuff, which I find very, very bizarre that all of that stuff is okay, but one 4-letter word is causing havoc.
The F word is the least of my worries today. I'm more concerned about where I gotta stand on stage with the lighting for certain key parts, that I'm gonna be seen and heard, and that it's gonna be emotional and as good as it was at 12 Miles West, only on a bigger scale.
So I also had to buy a brassiere to wear underneath my non-see-through costume to appease the politicians and the sensibilities of the young children. This is my red dress that I wear. It's inside out. You can't see boobs through there, can you?
But I think it's going to be a very mature audience. And if there are kids, I think the content of the show will snap them out of any immaturity.
So I just want to say, fine, then we won't do it. So there. Which is stupid and babyish, but I never said I was a mature woman.
A lot of people called my brother, and they're concerned because they can't get through because the school's closed, and it's people who want to bring like 10, 20 people, he said, but they're worried that they're not going to get tickets. They didn't know that there's tickets at the door, so he's telling everyone who calls him that, yeah, there's plenty of seats, don't worry about it. But I started to think, well, what about the people who are calling that don't know my brother? I mean, I hope they realize that there's also tickets available at the door. So, I don't know. I mean, let's see. I'm looking at the board over here to see if there's anything on it. Nothing. They didn't put it on the board.
We did everything in a week, built the set, designed the lights, got the props, because we forget, we're coming here from LA. Plus, this story is a part of Darrell, and so it's in him in a certain way, the true way it happened. So for him to be on stage, having to think about, okay, this word is coming up, I'm gonna have to change that, it's gonna take him out of the story, which may or may not affect his performance, and may or may not affect the way the show is. And he's been very excited about this for months and months and months, and I just hate to have him have to worry about this stuff on stage.
So I'm not nervous about my performance, I'm nervous about all the technical stuff. You know, I'm nervous about the sound, and I'm nervous about the sound and the lighting, and if people will be able to see me. But maybe that's a good thing that a lot of people don't know how to buy tickets at the door, because then it'll keep the crowd kind of contained to the front. Nothing happens by mistake.
Right now we're using 8 mics, you know, for the whole floor. 3 hanging, 2 floor mics, 2 out in the front, and a shotgun mic. So we should be getting a pretty good sound out of it.
Actually, we've never done this mic'd before. So that in itself is very... The technical things scare me a lot. Today I was a nervous wreck because of all the technical problems we were having. And so that just totally put me on edge. So that, I think, is going to be the biggest thing. Just the size of the theater and the technical stuff.
I'm wondering why the sub isn't working. I never plugged it in.
We had to make up our own lighting cues, and I have lots of these little buttons to play with, so it's going to be fun.
I think this is wonderful. The audience is filling up. The gate seems to be moving beautifully. I'm very, very excited. Very, very excited. And there's a lot of kids here. It's great. It's great.
I don't know how many students are out there, but it'll be good. I think once that they get hit with the opening video, I think then pretty much they're in. And whatever happens after that, I think I pretty much shocked them.
Yeah, it's been a good crowd, so it's going to open up in a few minutes.
This, I hope, is a happy memory for him so that he can take the negative stuff that has happened in his life and turn it around to a positive thing.
It's overwhelming if I think about it.
We're very happy to see you here this evening. What you are about to see is a man's portrayal of his own life. The Basement chronicles one of our own, 1980 Clifton High School graduate and senior class president, Darrell James Fusaro. He has come home to say thank you to his school, to share his true life experiences with all of us, to teach us, and is donating tonight's proceeds to the students of this school. Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you into the basement.
I went back to New Jersey, and when I was back there, I thought I'd take a drive past my grandfather's old office. I went up to the door, and it was an operating business. I was in a little reception area, and there was this little old lady behind the reception desk. "Excuse me, miss. I was wondering, do you still rent those offices upstairs?" And then she looked over her shoulder and looked back at me, and, well, to tell you the truth, a man was murdered up there. Murdered up there. I mean, I knew she was talking about my grandfather, but she was talking like it just happened last week. I know. I started to feel guilty that I was conning this little old lady. That was my grandfather. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I mean, I was here at the time. I was here when I wasn't here when it happened, but I was here at the time, and the police were here. It was horrible. It's okay. It's okay. Well, look, I'm gonna be in town for a few more days, and here, this is my cell phone number, and if you wouldn't mind, if you could just let the owner know who I am, and maybe if it was okay with him to let me have a look up there. And a couple of days passed, and then the owner called, and I went back. And I followed him all the way to the back of his business, to this dusty old staircase. And when we got to the top of the stairs, I couldn't believe it. I mean, it looked like it was trapped in time. Yeah, your grandfather's office is right down the end of this hall. You want to see it? And I followed him down to the end of the hall. Yeah, you see this? You see this crack? This crack on the door? This is the crack from when they kicked the door in. This is your grandfather's office. Do you remember anything? I remember. Yeah, and you're not gonna believe this, but you see this here on the wall? This is blood. And you see all this? You see all this on the floor? All this on the floor. This is all the blood on the floor from where they dragged him. Come on, old man. You're not so tough now, are you? Sit him in the chair. You couldn't just play along, could you, old man? Shut up! Will you pull his pants down? What are you doing? What are you fumbling with the shoes for? Just pull his pants down! Shut up, old man! Look, pull his legs apart. You, give me that knife! You got some set of balls on you, old man. Ah, Jesus Christ, stop screaming in my ear! Oh, God. Hold his mouth open, quick! Quick! Well, will you die already?
Expecting much. You know, you hear a one-man play, you're like, oh yeah, okay, I'll go because it's a fundraiser for my kids. After like the first 5 minutes, I was just totally captivated with the whole thing.
I think it went fabulous. I've had such positive student reaction, and I think the students were great in there, and I think it was a very successful, good, and great learning experience, really.
Good. It turned out really good. I was very pleased, and I think all my friends that I asked said it was really good. So it was a big hit. It was like Broadway, standing ovation.
Oh, I think it was fantastic. It was very moving, very funny. Actually, it was much funnier than I anticipated, with the subject matter being so serious and so dramatic. It was great. It was an emotional roller coaster.
Holy Gloria! This is Gloria.
Oh my God!
That's my wife.
Hey! How are you?
It was great. It was so much more than I expected to be here. Great reaction from the crowd. Funny, everyone laughed and had a good time. Everyone enjoyed it.
Unbelievable. And you know what? It didn't make one difference without the F word.
Turned out good.
Could have been better.
It could have been better, but it was good. I mean, it was better than nothing.
Yeah. Not a teacher.
I know. Wasn't that weird? They missed out. They would have been impressed, I think. Next time.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What'd you think?
I think it was a success.
Give me a kiss.
I think it went good. I think the students that it would really affect got affected. The other ones that came because they had to got something. You know, I think all the adults were surprised. I was more excited that my Aunt Gloria liked it because she was very frightened about bringing up my grandfather's murder. They would never talk about it. And she loved it.
How was your family's reaction to the play?
It was the most wonderful. They all loved it. I mean, the people who were the most scared, who are still alive, my aunts, the elderly aunts, were like, oh, it was wonderful. It was beautiful, they said.
And I don't need to know who or
Why? I just need to remember my pop-pop and how proud he was of me for just being me.